What up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having an awesome Thursday today and I hope you're ready to talk about a pretty interesting, deep, important topic. So we'll go ahead and wait a few minutes, let people get a chance to get in here, and then we will go ahead and get started. So if you are in here, say hi, say what's up, and we'll just have a bit of a chat before we get into it too much. We're going to be talking about one main topic, and then if we have time, I have like a slightly smaller topic that I want to get into a little bit. We're going to be talking about T-Trigger in line with Ellie and the madness that has unfolded over the past few days with that, and then also a little bit of a revisit and update on Earth Mother. So, okay, cool, you guys are in here saying hello. Hi, you guys, so good. Sinead, I'm glad you're in here. Hi, Jade at 2323. I'm so glad you're in here on time. Chandra, hi. Katie, Killer Katie, hello, how are you? Hi, Michaela. Hi, Jordan. Ooh, from Edinburgh. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, but hi. Hi, Megan. Hi, Courtney. Why is this reminding you of your therapy session? I don't know. I'm very sorry. Hi, Oscar. Okay, good. I'm glad you're in here. I want to get another moderator in here, hopefully, just because it's going to be a pretty not intense topic, but like a controversial topic, so I want to wait another minute or so. October Ren said, please talk about something not sad. I'm devastated about Amber Lynn right now. I've heard that some pretty rough things are going on in the Amberverse, and so we're not going to be talking about that. Don't worry about it. Druggy Vibes, hi. My day is going really well. How's your day? Oh, Megs is in Calgary, Alberta. Yvonne, hi Yvonne. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, Katie, it only happened an hour ago, so that might be why. Could be. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and wait just a little bit. I want to see if another mod can get in here, just so Oscar's not carrying all the weight by himself. Let's see. Liza said, hi, I always watch your lives after the fact, so I'm excited to catch it live. Yay, I'm excited that you are in here for the live. Lots of people always say like, oh, I miss it, I never get the notification, so I'm glad it seemed to be going out to you guys. All right, before we get started, the first topic, like I said, is going to be talking about T-Trigger in line with Ellie, that whole situation. So I'm going to ask you two questions. For new people, Brianna, hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Haven't catch live in a hot minute. Hey, Brianna, can I go ahead and make you a mod? Oscar said, carrying all of you on my back. Literally. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to do two questions. It looks like there's a good amount of new people in here, so when I ask just like a yes or no question, thumbs up emoji for yes, thumbs down for no. First question is, how many of you were in the live or saw the live after the fact back from a few months ago when we talked about on my channel the Nick Snyder, T-Trigger, Tea Time, and Shelby Jeffcoat drama? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down if you didn't see it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Brianna. Oh, Sinead said, when everyone was talking about this on Twitter but weren't saying names, I thought it was about the Repsian thing. That's literally wild, too. I have such, like, not that I have, like, conflicting feelings on his situation, but there have been some things that, like, he has said and done over the past few weeks that I'm like, man, I really don't love that. Like, it's just, yeah, I feel bad that he is going through this former fan trying to like get back at him though. Okay, so we've got lots of thumbs down for that, so a lot of you guys didn't see it. Okay, I'm just like getting a head count of how much like of a recap or how much of an overview I'm going to have to do. Okay, so the majority of you have not seen it. Gotcha. Okay. Now, cut off for that question. Next question is, how many of you potentially separately from me have kept up with the tea trigger, in line with Ellie, tea time? Like, how many of you have stayed up to date with that side of YouTube, or with that little niche in YouTube of the anti-drama drama channels? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. I'll let you guys have a minute or so to get those votes in. No. Okay. No. Okay. Megan's been keeping up with it. Looks like the only one. Ugh. Okay, guys. This, saga is one of the most complicated, it's so mundane, but it's so complicated and so complex, and it's maddeningly intricate. So I'm gonna do my best to just do a Star Wars movie, you know how those are really long, in a thumbnail. I'm gonna try my best to condense it without leaving out too many of the important details. And Michaela hasn't even heard of it until now, actually. Okay. This is wild. I literally was explaining this to my husband when it first broke, because he doesn't keep up with anything on YouTube. He literally does not care. And so I literally spent 30 minutes trying to go into everything with him, and he was like, okay. So I've had a practice run through. But yeah, it's so much. Sinead said, I feel like it wasn't covered so much with larger creators. Yeah. Liza said, I've been off Twitter for weeks because of the ugliness of the small drama channel community. Ugh, I'm so sorry. It is a lot, because I at one point was following the majority of the creators who were involved in it, and at some point I was like, I gotta not, because this is too much. But okay. So, Zobi, so you're going to do the Star Wars crawling text at the beginning of the movies. Yeah, I'm going to do the dun, 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 that part. We're just going to, all right. Okay, so we're going all the way back to December for this, which is when Nick Snyder had the party in Houston. All the drama channels came. It was a great time for them, but they started a lot of mess when they were there, because there was a big Q&A thing, and a lot of drama came from it. And after this happened, there's kind of a specific subsection of drama channels who got kind of their start at this point, who kind of this situation pushed them up to that threshold of, when I don't know how many of you guys have channels, but where you have probably under 100 subscribers, and then you have that one video that hits and bumps you up to your 1,000 subscriber threshold. And then once you have 1,000 subscribers, it's a little bit easier to get more people to go to your channel. It's a little bit easier to grow. And so 1,000 subscribers is a big kind of milestone. And so this situation for a few specific drama channels was what boosted them to that. And they spent a lot of time going after all of the larger drama channels, saying, you guys have been displaying this problematic behavior. We're going to call it out. We're not okay with it. And, okay. Yeah, so they're what they're doing, it's not okay. Oscar, thank you so much for the heads up to everybody new here. And a lot of it was centered around being racially insensitive, or being insensitive to other cultures, communities, stuff like that. And so they were really going after these channels hard. They got a lot of attention for it. they went back and forth and made videos. And the ones that I'm kind of referring to that I think have kind of the most in common in this situation are T-Trigger, Shelby Jeffcoat, or is that his name? I think so. His name is Shelby. I don't know what his last name is, but Shelby Jeffcoat, I think. And then Tea Time. Like, they were all kind of in this little buddy group. They were in the system coming up together, and at some point there was a falling out between Shelby and the other two channels. And then at one point, our girl Saya, I will say before I get too into it, I have a little bit of a bias. When it first started, I didn't know any of these people, so I was like just going on what I thought was right. But at this time, I'm going on what I think is right. And I also have a bias because I like Saya. But Saya went into the history of one of the members of It's Tea Time, found some old tweets of them saying some pretty upsetting things towards the Hispanic community, towards the transgender community, and that was kind of their first drama on the side of the smaller drama channels, talking about how, you know, the main conversation was like, if you're gonna be policing these people morally, you should probably make sure that you can't be accused of the same things. You know, you act like you have this moral high ground, and it's kind of sketchy because it doesn't seem like that's how you've always been, but you're really harsh with these people. And so that started like a wave of drama, and it really kind of started this, I don't want to say war, but God, it's kind of like that, with Saya and these drama channels, these anti-drama drama channels, because they were pissed. And like, I get it. Like, I get being mad that somebody went into your Twitter and found stuff that makes you look bad, but at the same time, you're the one who said those things, so maybe you should just say, man, maybe I gotta reevaluate how I come after people. Maybe what I'm doing isn't the nicest thing in the world. But instead, Tea Time was really mad at Saya, and because Tea Time and T-Trigger were like allies in this, T-Trigger was mad at Saya too. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break here, see if there's any questions so far. Okay, Megan said it's terrifying, the length some of them have gone. Yeah. Adultish said, yes, my first live, been binging all your videos. Hello, greetings from Belgium. What up? Hi. Okay, Liza said, yeah, Shelby Jeffcoat. Okay, I want to make sure I got his last name right. Okay, Liza said, I have a bias too. Saya is my boo. Yeah, she's awesome. Okay, so back and forth. It's a lot to get into, but from my perspective, I'm not going to get into too many of the details of all the conversations I've seen, but from my perspective, when it comes to T-Trigger, I think before any of the stuff came out that we're going to be talking about, before this stuff came out, it was my perception that this person was very intent on kind of seeming like they were, I'm trying to think of the right word, but like saying that they were going to be the moral police. I'm trying to think of a different word for that, but like saying like, I'm going to call out all the BS. I'm always in the right. I have the moral high ground. I know what's up. And, you know, kind of putting this guilt on people who didn't see things the way that he did. And it was really interesting because there was one point where Nick Snyder had called Here for the Tea a puppet master, and T-Trigger went on this whole thing about how that is anti-Semitic and you can't say that and it's not appropriate. And it was like a long live stream about it. And the way I perceived it was him saying that Nick Snyder saying that was anti-Semitic and it wasn't okay. Then he comes on and says, well, no, I just said that it has been used that way, and so he should be aware of how to use it. I'm not saying he's anti-Semitic. I'm just saying that that's how it could be used. So it's like he's calling things out just to be pedantic, essentially, is like the fastest way that I can say this. And then, you know, they've got all this going on. There's a lot of going back and forth, targeting Saya, specifically targeting her, saying things that are just not okay. And like there was one specific thing where T-Trigger said something along the lines of, when you want to go surfing and there's a sea lion in the way, what do? Do you get mad, or do you just sit back, smoke a joint, and wait for the sea lion to leave? And it was kind of referencing Saya from the way that a lot of people took it. And Saya was like, hey, that's not cool. Like, you know, you seem very concerned about being, this is me paraphrasing this, I'm not speaking for Saya, this is how I remember it happening. So if I get like a detail wrong, this is just how it happened from my perception. Feel free to correct me. So Saya was like, hey, you know, you seem to be very interested in being politically correct. You're talking about me in this tweet and you're comparing me to an animal, and so maybe don't do that because that could be taken as something racially insensitive. And T-Trigger got super mad, wouldn't take accountability for it, nothing. At one point, somebody was trying to figure out, T-Trigger's an anonymous account, so we've never seen T-Trigger's face. It was like fronted by a cartoon and a voice modulator for most of the time. And someone had contacted Saya, said, hey, I think this is T-Trigger's wife's Twitter account, what do you think? And Saya told T-Trigger, like, hey, I don't want to get involved in this, but somebody's trying to figure out your wife's Twitter, you might want to know. And T-Trigger turned it into this whole thing of, Saya knows who's trying to dox me and she's being complicit in my doxing, and we're going to call the RCMP, and because they're in Canada, we don't feel safe, we have 2 kids, this is unacceptable, Saya's trying to put us in danger, literally, like, going off the rails. And she's like, look, I'm not going to give out other people's personal information just because you're mad someone's trying to find your wife's Twitter. But he didn't listen, and so there's all this stuff. And at first, it was really big. And then from the public perspective, it died down a little bit, but I know it didn't die down on a personal perspective because, like I said, I like Saya, I know Saya, I follow her on Twitter, and there were still things every now and then of like, well, if Saya wants to have a conversation, we will. And she's like, no, like, you guys clearly don't like me, you don't want to talk to me, like, you just want to pull me onto your live for whatever reason, and I'm not interested. And so, like I said, publicly, died down a little bit. Personally, definitely didn't. And then a few days ago, we found out something just absolutely insane. So I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to see if there are any questions or any comments. Okay, South of Grace is in here. Good. I'm glad that you are here. I hope your dinner was good. Druggy Vibes said, I remember now. Okay. Cara Fernelia said, the ones who say they're better than others usually screw up worse than others. Literally, like, it's, gosh. Oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Yeah, people who think that they're, like, above everybody else are usually the ones who are, like, overcompensating for things. And, I mean, the thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with not knowing things or messing up in your past, but I think you have to consider the fact that you've messed up in your past and you haven't always been perfect, and you have to have compassion for people who are maybe doing things that you disagree with because you know you're not perfect either, and approaching them from a, hey, like, I don't agree with this behavior, so I'd like to call it out. But the way that these people were going after these bigger drama channels, and, like, I get it, the drama channels weren't always the nicest. I definitely had some issues with Petty Paige in the past. I mean, I still like her in general as a creator, but there were a lot of things she did that I was like, I don't like this. This isn't cool. This doesn't sit right with me. But, you know, it's one thing to disagree with somebody. It's another to repeatedly go after them for just for the sake of going after them, for the sake of tearing them down, is what it seemed like. Oscar said, learning and growing is part of being an ally. Exactly. Like, there's nothing wrong with not knowing things. Everybody, like, nobody knows everything in the entire world. So when somebody comes to you and says, like, hey, this isn't great, like, you gotta listen to it. Druggy Vibe said, saw Nick's video about Tea by Elli. It's so much drama with them. Stop watching after seeing all the BS. Yeah, there's a ton going on in there. Courtney, is there something specific that you're confused about that I can answer? Or you're just saying, like, this is a ton of information and I'm going into overload? Because it's a lot. But essentially, what it boils down to is T-Trigger is a drama channel who claims to hold other drama channels accountable. Saya is, like, she has a YouTube channel. She doesn't post on it regularly, but she posts every now and then, and she's kind of like a Twitter personality if I were to describe her. And then we've got, coming into the ring with this situation, is Will, aka Will Spill, aka Oh My God Expose You, the T-Spill stan Will. Courtney said about how it started just by them being hypocritical. Essentially, yeah, this anti-drama drama channel group said that they came onto the scene to hold drama channels accountable because they weren't holding themselves accountable, and then when they got exposed for being a little bit hypocritical, they really had kind of a personal vendetta against the person who exposed that, and they got lost in the sauce. Like, they got too enamored and too wrapped up in the internet culture. And that's what we see with what has recently come out. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details with the other main party involved in this, but hi Carolina, I'm glad you're in here. You guys, I'm sure you guys know, here for the tea, she was doxxed. There was a Twitter account who was doing a major thread trying to figure out and reveal who was involved in the doxing, and this Twitter thread accused a lot of the larger drama channels of having a hand in this without any sort of proof or like concrete evidence. It was just kind of like, well, you interacted with this person, so you were involved. Like, it's measly arguments. And this person, Ellie, in line with Ellie, is friends with T-Trigger, except not anymore. Cornelia said drama and anti-drama drama channels community. Wow. It's literally, it's a mess. Like, oh my gosh, like, it's gonna self-implode eventually. I don't know. I think there's a time for everything on the internet, but not everything can last forever. So these two people essentially were in a group chat with some other, I don't know if they're other creators. I know that Ellie's best friend, Sev, was in this group chat, and they had a group chat essentially, from what we've seen, from what I was able to see, dedicated to finding out information on Saya and finding out information on Will. And a lot of the interest in Saya was trying to like figure out where she was at, if she was actually black or not, analyzing her pictures, saying that she, oh, she's probably not black because her foundation doesn't match her neck. Like, literally going in on her to prove that she wasn't black. I don't know. Like, I don't understand the point of that. I don't understand why they care. They just don't like her. And so really going in, trying to figure out her history, where she lives, where she works, stuff like that. And then with Will, it is allegedly, the narrative that they're spinning now is that, well, we thought that a grown person had stolen Will's photos because we thought that T-Spill was paying somebody to be a stan account for her, and so we were concerned for the little boy in the photos. We thought that a grown man had stolen his photos. So T-Trigger's wife created a fake account, went and befriended Will on Twitter. They exchanged voice notes. They talked a lot, like literally pretended to be his friend, and then they kept everything that he sent, and we're trying to figure out, oh, well, why does he have drawings on his arm? Why does he have tattoos? He can't be a child. Because it's a drawing in Sharpie, because that's what you do when you're 15 and you can, like, and you just like drawing. Like, you have a Sharpie in your hand, you're gonna doodle on yourself. And so just being very, very creepy towards this 15-year-old. Okay. Orla Dillon said, Will has been involved in his own scraps on Twitter, but he did not deserve to be treated like this. Used to like Trig, but started to find his cartoon persona and his lives a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, Will's definitely done his own stuff that people haven't liked, but who hasn't? Like, we've all done stuff that people aren't gonna like, you know? That doesn't give them the right to spy on this kid, to create fake accounts, to try and befriend him and get personal information on him. It's weird. Sinead said, Ellie isn't T-Trigger's wife. No. Ellie is not T-Trigger's wife. Christina Steinmetz said, hi, first time viewer, friend of Saya. Hi, Christina. I'm glad you're in here. Orla said, all drama channels are messy AF. Literally. Orla said, Ivy is T-Trigger's wife. Yeah. Oh my god, Saya! What up? Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that you guys are all saying hi to Saya and giving support. That's so sweet. Okay. Cool. Spencer. I'm glad you're in here. Literally talking about the T-Trigger situation. So, Bronna said, I feel like a lot of people try and make drama over the smallest things, and I can't understand that. Literally. Like, it's all over the weirdest stuff. And so, part of their conversation, like, part of their excuse is we thought that somebody was stealing this kid's, like, pictures, but then they're also saying, like, well, he's 14, he shouldn't be involved in this anyway. And so it's like, well, what is that? Like, did you think that somebody stole his pictures, or did you just want to get information on him? Like, I don't know. And the whole thing is, at the end of the day, they both did lives. Ellie did multiple lives on it. They're still up. She doesn't say anything. She literally just, like, reads the comments and is like, oh, I don't understand your question. Or like, well, this is what I was told, instead of taking any sort of accountability. And there were a few things that were really odd. In her chat, her moderators were essentially blaming Will, being like, where are Will's parents? Because Will is very active on Twitter. He's literally, like, he's a Twitter personality. A lot of people know him as the T-Spill Stan, like Will Spill. And they're like, well, he's 14, he's 15, where are his parents? Why is he allowed to engage in these types of conversations? Because he's 15 and we live in the age of social media? Like, why is that weird to you? Why is that hard for you to comprehend, that he would be involved in conversations like this, or he would be up on Twitter, like, tweeting? I just don't understand the question. South of Grace said, wait, are these people trying to dox a child? I don't know anything about the situation or who T-Trigger is. T-Trigger is was an anti-drama drama channel, because he has since deleted his channel. But, like, the thing is, they didn't say what they were going to do with the information, but their excuse was half, we thought someone had stolen his photos and was using them, for this account, and then half of it was like, well, why is he 15 and in this conversation? Like, I don't think they truly believed that someone had stolen his information. You know, Crumblush said, my parents weren't hovering over my shoulder at 15. Literally. Darlene, I appreciate you so much. Darlene said, everyone don't forget to like this stream. It's easy to forget. Thank you. I appreciate you. Liza said, Ellie basically played semantics to try and come out as the least worst one, but wrong is wrong. Literally. Orla said, this is actually serious. Will said he has his parents involved. Trig and his wife have some answering to do. Did not catch his live, but apparently it was a train wreck. Literally. I only caught the last, like, 20 minutes of it, but from what I saw, like, I have notes because I caught some of a re-upload, but Ellie's mods were blaming Will, saying that he shouldn't be involved in adult topics, which I don't consider that to be. And she also said that T-Trigger's wife told her not only that she had voice memos of Will saying that he had given personal information about Here for the Tea to Hartouche, which is the Twitter account accused of doxing her, but that he also said that Tea by Ellie was the one who doxed Here for the Tea. So she said that those are two separate voice memos that she got from Will. So if we have any questions, I know that those are two kind of confusing sentences, so if there are any questions at this point, go ahead and submit them. Allegedly, Angela said the fact that he just dipped without clearing up anything is like, oh, well, dude, at least leave the live up so we don't have to watch or re-upload with a toaster. Literally. Literally. Vice versa said, greetings, I was referred to your channel. Hello, welcome. Liza said, did he delete his channel? Yes. So, if there are any more questions about Ellie, go ahead and get them in now. I'm going to take a water break, and then we will get on to what I was able to catch of the Tea Trigger Live. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, basic rundown of Ellie's video is that she didn't take any accountability. She basically just said, well, I was told all these things, and didn't say whether she thought they were true, what their intention was to do with them. Literally, I mean, essentially just blamed it on Tea Trigger's wife, really. It wasn't necessarily on Tea Trigger, it was on Tea Trigger's wife, Ivy. Okay. Megan said, I swear Trigger was mid-sentence when the live cut out and his whole channel was just gone. Literally. I was shocked when it ended because I was like, wait, what? How is that the end? So, okay. Tea Trigger's wife. Tea Trigger's live stream. Basically, in the description of the live stream, it was like, I'm going to describe everything, and if anybody needs additional receipts, you'll get them. So the last 20 minutes it was just confusing and chaos to me, and I was like, this person sounds very angry. Both he and his wife were on there essentially explaining their side and basically just saying how much they hated Ellie. And then I caught a re-upload. I caught like 50 minutes of it, dude. I mean, this thing was like 2 hours long, and I'm sorry, but it was rough. I couldn't watch it all in one go. So I caught like 50 minutes of it, and then when I went to go back, it was gone. But basically, we just got a few notes here. They blamed Ellie for the entire thing. They had no apologies to give anyone. They weren't sorry about anything. They were just sorry that they got caught, and there were a lot of fake tears from Tea Trigger's wife, and Tea Trigger saying, oh, it's okay, babe, take your time, take your time. No! Like, do not tell me that you are going to sit here in a group chat, analyze the location of a 15-year-old, and accuse somebody of pretending to be black, and then sit up on YouTube because you got caught and cry. Like, you're just not going to do it. That's not going to get sympathy points with anybody at this point. I just, it was infuriating. Oh, Chantel, here's the worst thing. I don't know how old Tea Trigger and his wife are, but they have 2 kids, so they're old enough to be married with kids, and Ellie is 35. 35. Like, what? Spencer said, what is with all these YouTubers having super weird relationships with teenagers these days? Like, it's not that hard to figure out that someone is young. Seriously, the social dynamics of people on YouTube, and I can't even say that it's like people who have been on YouTube for too long, because these people just started being on YouTube last year, and they don't comprehend the, like, normalcy in social relationships, and I don't understand. I truly don't get it. I think, and I want to talk about this later, I think it's like just getting caught up in everything and not worrying about yourself enough. Like, take care of yourself. Don't get caught up in this, because I can understand, like, they thought that they were spies and they thought that they were getting into all the tea, but like, why do you care? Why is that something that you're spending so much time doing? Do something outside of this. You should not be focusing all of your time on YouTube and social media and getting caught up in this drama. Like, it's not healthy. You have to have a separation, and I don't think that either of them have very much of that separation, which leads to problems. Becca said, Spencer's right. This is becoming way too common. It's creepy. Literally. Vice versa said, it's a very weird component to be interacting with a child. You have to be so careful. And you can tell. Like, you can tell when people who message you are younger or who want to talk to you are younger. And you have to be aware. You have to be aware, and you have to be careful. Because just because somebody is like a fan of yours or looks up to you or wants to talk to you does not mean that you can have a friendship with them. And you gotta be aware. You gotta be the adult in a situation. Chantel said, get a hobby. Literally, like, take up scrapbooking. Learn how to make macaroons. Like, I don't know, just do something off the internet for a few hours a week, because this is not okay. This type of behavior is not okay. And I mean, to be completely honest, I can't say, my biggest thing 99% of the time is like, I don't want people to lose their channel. I don't want people to lose their income. Like, I want people to be able to do what they want to do. But this is toxic. Like, I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that T-Trigger deleted his channel. So anyway, Chantal said these people need to take up crocheting. Literally. Darlene said, I think social media erases age. Children are treated the same as adults. It dehumanizes people in a way. True. Like, that is a really good point. When you can't interact with somebody actually personally and you just see them as a picture. Spencer said, PSB, your headband is matching my whole outfit. Oh, yeah, twins. Okay, so, sorry, I went on that little rant here. Main points in T-Trigger's live. Promising receipts, not giving any except for very, very much curated parts of conversations that were screenshots, which paint Ellie in a very bad light, certainly, but that doesn't mean that you're innocent of doing anything just because you're not showing the parts of the conversation where you did the bad things. Like, we're all kind of aware enough that you probably said some pretty rough things in those group messages, or else you wouldn't have cropped them. You would have just shown them. Like, you know what I mean? You would have shown the whole conversation. You would have shown things where you messed up if you really wanted to take accountability, but you didn't. You just wanted to blame Ellie. And so something that Ivy, T-Trigger's wife, said over and over again is, Ellie's a monster. We're just dumbasses. Like that makes it better? No, that's an excuse. That's you trying to tear yourself down so people don't come after you. That's you trying to degrade yourself to kind of get out of responsibility and say, like, oh, I was just dumb. I didn't know better. No, you're an adult. You have kids. You know better. You know that if someone looked into your kid the way that y'all were looking into Will, you would not be okay with it, because it's inappropriate. It's creepy. It's absolutely pointless. And it's weird. It's deeply unsettling. Like, this isn't just a mistake. You know, a lot of the time we say, like, oh, somebody made a mistake, they messed up. How can we move on? This isn't a mistake. This is part of your personality. If you're okay with digging into people's lives like this, it's really upsetting. Chantal said, the grossest part is them trying to play the victim. Yep. Like, no accountability on either side. Liza said, like, no one thought, gee, what if he actually is 15? What then? Right. Like, what if he is 15? Because I really don't think they thought that somebody had stolen Will's pictures. I think they thought, let's figure out what's up with this kid and see if we can use any of it against him or use any of it against, oh my gosh. T-Spill. Literally, I blanked out for a second. Liza said, and Ellie, tea time, and his wife don't even know each other personally. I don't think, so how could you know if this personal info would be safe with the other party? Right. They don't know each other in person. Carolina said, it feels like kids and teens on social media don't understand that some influencers put on a different persona for the camera. You don't know what their true intentions are. Yeah, like you literally don't know. You see such a tiny, tiny, tiny part of their life that you would have no idea. Darlene said, I also think that social media encourages impulsivity. People say and do things without thinking about consequences. Yeah, they literally don't see it like... Not that they don't, but it can be very easy to see it as like, well, this isn't real life. This is my online life. But your online life has real consequences. Like, there are literal consequences for the things that you do and say in front of people. Orla said they thought Will's pictures were photoshopped. So, like, ugh. I literally don't, I don't understand. Vice versa said everyone knew he was a child. He was a well-known T-Spill fan account and was shouted out several times across hundreds of thousands of people. Literally. Like I said, like, you can tell that this is a child. You can tell that this is a kid by the way, I don't want to say child in like a patronizing way, but this is literally a teenager. Like, you can tell that this is a teenager by the things that Will says and posts and how much time he has to be on this. Like, you could just tell. Like, Will's 15, and if he's not, why do you care? Like, there's no need for T-Spill to pay somebody to be a stan. Like, because that was part of their whole thing, was like, we thought that she was paying somebody. Why? Like, why? Why would you think that? Why would she need to do that? I don't understand. So there was that. T-Trigger said, you know, we believed Ellie because we thought she had this inside information. Why? Like, I don't know why you would think that. Ellie posted a Twitter thread saying she was going to reveal who doxed her for the tea, and then left it open-ended because people got mad that it was confusing. Like, I don't understand. I mean, yeah, maybe she has like personal relationships with certain influencers, but like from an outside perspective, no, like she just seems like an average person who got a lot of attention back in December, January, like around the holidays because of this thread. But why would you think that she had all this inside information? Did you think she was a spy? Like, I don't understand. And then T-Trigger, of course, said, oh, I'll post receipts after this. You know, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to prove everything. And then literally at the end of the stream, just ended it very abruptly, very aggressively, and I don't know if deleting, but put everything on private, essentially probably deleted the channel or put the whole channel on private, deleted Twitter, like nowhere to be found. T-Trigger is completely gone at this point. I don't know if he'll come back, if he's gonna reactivate and hope that this stuff just kind of dies down or what, but at this time, T-Trigger is gone. And that, to me, implies guilt. It's not like you made a mistake and you're owning up to it. It's just, it's you being guilty because you're hiding. Additionally, just a few things that I also found upsetting. Ivy made kind of like a big stink about the fact that Ellie was going after a black woman, and literally it, like, she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She does not care that Ellie was going after a black woman, and it was so upsetting. Like, you do not care. You don't care, because if you cared, when she was doing it, you would have said something. You would have said, hey, like, this conversation makes me uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what either person specifically said. Like, I don't need to see all the screenshots, all the conversations. I don't need to know who exactly said what. All I need to know is the topic of conversation and what the angle was and what some of the exchanges were, to know that whatever was said in that chat was not okay. And no matter what you said personally, you engaged in the conversation and you didn't have a problem with it at the time. So I don't think you have a problem with it in general, because if you did, you would have stopped it then, instead of letting it go on until it was useful to you. Liza said, even if he wasn't a kid after all, why even go so far to snoop on someone? What was the end game? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the motive was. I really don't. Like, I don't think they thought he was an adult. I think they were trying to get information to use against him, but that's my opinion. Orla said, I liked his content during the Houston situation. Vice versa said, Houston was fun to report on. Yeah, like, that at first, initially, that was a really interesting thing to follow, because it was kind of a shift. Like, it was a shift in the power dynamic of the drama community. It was really interesting to see at first, but I think they got really addicted to the attention that they were getting from calling these drama channels out, starting this drama, that they didn't want to stop doing it, and they took it farther and farther and farther. And it led to a few people kind of, like, it's dramatic to say, like, imploding, but kind of, like getting too much into their own stuff and forgetting to consider reality. And then bad things come from that. Allegedly, Angelo said, even his Facebook page is gone. LOL, coward. Literally. And then the last thing from T-Triggers Live, because like I said, I only caught 50 minutes of it, but it was dumb. I'm sorry, that was aggressive. It wasn't great. It wasn't my favorite thing. I would have loved to see a little bit of accountability taken. Ivy said, about Ellie, she said, we're concerned about her mental health, but then literally just a few sentences before, she told the audience, Ellie's lucky that subtweeting is all we're doing to her. Bold statement for somebody that whose mental health you're concerned about. You're lucky that subtweeting is all we're doing to you. Okay. BB Wilson said, as a black woman myself, it's so annoying when people use my race as a way to gaslight people or gain brownie points. Literally. That's what it was. She was trying to seem like a good person and say, the injustice of it all. You do not care. You do not care that they were going after Saya. You do not care that they were saving pictures of her that she posted on Twitter and zooming in on them and being like, those are supposed to be her legs, but is that leggings? Like, what? Why is that something you're spending your time doing? And at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself first and foremost. You have to be concerned about yourself first. You have to have a reality check with yourself every now and then, and like separate yourself from what you're doing and ask yourself, is this okay? Is this right? Is what I'm doing something that I'm proud of, or am I hiding it? Like, I think that, because T-Trigger's wife has tried to start different drama channels before and stuff, and I don't know how popular they've been. Like, I don't follow a ton of like T-spill channels, like the ones where they do like voiceover or like text overs and stuff like that. It's just not necessarily my style, so I don't know how popular they were. But it feels like she was so desperate to be part of this community that it probably rubbed off on her husband. Her husband decided to start a channel, got some popularity, and then they literally just went off the deep end with it. Like, they dove head first because this was something that they so desperately wanted to be a part of. But for what? Like, why? What's the motive of wanting to be in this community and presenting yourself as somebody on the moral high ground and who's going to hold people accountable when in the dark you're doing this shady stuff, this really inappropriate, disgusting stuff, and getting wrapped up in it? Orla Dillon said, well, popular as in having a group of dedicated viewers. Yeah. I mean, like, not like popular, but got a few thousand subscribers pretty quickly. And of those people, had some very, very dedicated subscribers. Like, their followings were very dedicated very early on, which is interesting. Orla said, ST Time recently did a live with Trig. I'm waiting for what they'll say about this. Were they friends? Yeah, from my understanding, they were. I've been kind of keeping an eye out because I don't follow them anymore, but I've been keeping an eye out to see if they're going to say anything. And I haven't seen anything, but it'll be interesting. I don't know. Liza said, and Will is just one scenario. They seem to be trying to spy on multiple people, and it's just so sinister to me. It's like they do it for fun. Literally. Darlene said, I think small channels that suddenly get a larger audience, it does something with their ego. It's no longer about their content. It's themselves, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. Because it is interesting. Like, as a small channel, I can speak to this. When you get, like, a spike in subscribers, you know, no matter what it is, if it's, like, 150, 2, like, no matter what it is when you're first starting out and you get a little bit of a spike, it does feel really good. And so I think that's why it's important to not have so much of your time and your dedication wrapped up in YouTube. It's important to have things outside of that, because it would be very easy to get addicted to the high of growing, of getting attention. And it's not an excuse for them that they, like, fell into this. They chose to engage in this behavior. But I think it's very easy to, like, I don't know, justify it to yourself when you don't have your own ducks in a row, when you're not first and foremost working on yourself, questioning yourself, evaluating yourself, which is something that I'm a big proponent of. Saya said they won't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they will. But we'll see. Vice versa said, T-Trigger's wife is really close to here for the tea, which has it out for other drama channels. Yeah, and when you're close to somebody who had this major, massive influence, which she still has now, like, even though she's not making videos, Here for the Tea has a lot of influence. I mean, if you're not on your game, if you're not on your stuff, you can get very wrapped up in it. Oscar said, I appreciate everyone here having a constructive conversation. Yes, I appreciate all of you guys so far. I haven't seen anything, like, rough. So you guys, I definitely appreciate it too. Phoebe Wilson said, they need new hobbies. Absolutely. Spencer said, something that has always concerned me about influencers is when they have obsessive fans. Like, it feels like that drives the creators to keep upping the ante. Yeah. That's why you have to, like, draw a line, I think. You know, we see when people are too close with fans, it's like, it's hard to keep it in a real perspective. Like, it's hard to draw those boundaries and say, you know, I appreciate your support, but we have to have this separation. And when you don't create that separation and you no longer see them as a fan, but you just see them as the everyday person that you interact with, you get really caught up in yourself, I think. Like, if you don't have that boundary for yourself, you can start having a really weird perspective and thinking, I am incredible all the time, I'm amazing all the time, everything I do is the best thing in the entire world. And especially when somebody is just starting out and they immediately have, like, a very, even if it's a small group, but a dedicated group, it gets messy. Liza said they weaponized and used things like racism to score points against people, and that is just despicable. Yeah, horrible. Like, they did. They tried to virtue signal in order to grow when, I mean, and that's the truth for everybody. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has stuff that they did in the past that was bad or that they made a mistake about. you know, it's okay to be an imperfect person. You don't have to be like the morality police. You don't have to be an angel in order to say like, hey, I disagree with what you're doing. But when you ignore the things that you've done in the past, or you ignore the problematic things about yourself and think that you can do no wrong, and therefore you have the right to call people out on every single little thing they do, it's dangerous. Orla Dillon said, no disrespect to some channel's fans, but I can't understand why some people can easily gloss over troublesome statements and continue excusing their actions. I literally think it's just like a personal bias of like, oh, I like this person, so I'll let them get away with it. Oscar said, fans really love to cross boundaries if you don't draw lines early on. Definitely. Spencer said, sometimes it feels like the audience sets the boundaries for the creators instead of the other way around, and that's when things get creepy/weird. Yeah, like, it really is, like, as the person who is like in front of the channel, is creating the content, you have to set what's okay, what's not, how often you're gonna be like responding to messages, how close you're gonna get to people who support you. Like, you have to be responsible for setting that up because you're the leader. Like, if it's your channel, you are in charge. That is your responsibility. And I get it, like, some people, I mean, everybody likes to be liked, you know? And so with some people especially, when you get praised, when you get subscribed to, and people are commenting saying, oh my God, I love you, you're doing amazing things, like, you're the best, you're not going to tell them, like, you're not going to distance yourself from that. You're going to soak it all up, and you're going to want more, instead of saying, hey, like, this person doesn't know me on my worst day. They only see the best thing I put out there. So they think that the best of me is great, and that's great, but I still have flaws. Like, it's important to check yourself on a regular basis. And I even thought about it before starting this, because I was like, am I hypocritical if I talk about anti-drama channels going after people for problematic behavior, but that's essentially what I do on my channel? And I mean, in my personal opinion, I'm like, you know, in general, I don't ever want to see anything bad happen to these people. I want to see them improve. I want to have open conversations about things that are currently going on, so I think it's okay. But I literally had that thought of myself of like, is this a hypocritical conversation to have? And even if you're not a creator and an influencer, in your everyday life, you got to check yourself sometimes. Darlene said they shouldn't be rewarding or praising their obsessive fans. Yeah, definitely. You gotta, like, draw the line. Sinead said, I feel like we were having this conversation about Colleen the other week. We were, because again, she got too close. Well, they didn't get close to, Colleen got close to a fan. T-Trigger didn't really get close to, like, fans, but really let the fans who were really, really dedicated get to him. And I think they both had that in common, which is where they, like, got high on the attention, and they loved it and made some bad decisions. Spencer said, oh dang, we can't be friends anymore. Sorry, I'm kicking you to the curb. No, like, I don't know. I think it's different when you're, like, a small channel and you know that the person you're talking to is an adult. Like, that's different. But it would be super weird if I, like, DM'd you and was like, oh my God, I'm having this totally personal problem with my mom, with my husband, with whoever. Like, that would be inappropriate on my end. You did not ask for that, you know? Like, you gotta be in control of your own stuff. I'm trying to, I think it's Anika LeBlanc. I'm sorry, I was trying to read your name to make sure I said it correctly. Said, thanks y'all, I've really been vibing with the live stream upload, so I'm glad to catch this one. I'm glad you're in here. Marmaduke Scarlet is in here. Hey, what's up? So I said, the fact that you even considered that, it shows you have more self-awareness than all of them combined. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like toot my own horn, but like I try to be self-aware. I try to ask myself questions that are hard sometimes and say like, hey, are you really doing this for the right reason? Are you going too far? But I try, so thank you. I appreciate that. Sinead said, you call people out, but it's always respectful, mutual, and you usually are a lot nicer than all the people that I watch. Thank you. I really try. Like, I don't want to be like mean to people, but I want to talk about stuff that's important. So I'm glad that my intention shows through. Remember Duke Scarlett said, I think, okay, these are all just compliments, so I'm not gonna like read them out loud and like praise myself, but thank you guys for all the nice stuff. I really appreciate it. Phoebe Wilson said, this is why I don't like to stan people, because I know at the end of the day, everyone has skeletons in their closet. I don't want to love someone because of my idea of them. Yeah, that's like the perfect way to look at it. Is like everybody's got stuff that they would not want the general public to know about. And so you can like a creator, you can like their content, stuff like that, but you know, you shouldn't idealize people, especially not YouTubers, not celebrities. Like, we appreciate them, but we don't get too close. Alright, you guys are so nice. Stop. Stop it. Okay, she said it's Anika, but everyone gets it wrong, be no worries. Okay, Anika. We have this like once a stream. I'm sorry that I said it wrong. But yeah, I mean, man, it's a complicated situation. Well, it's not a complicated situation. What they did was wrong, but it's a complicated history, and it like consumed me last night when I was thinking about it. I'm just like, man, the craziness that happens, and some of like the wildest part about it, I think, is that me looking at the situation and knowing about it, I'm like, man, this is so complex. This is taking up so much of my brain space. But like, there are billions of people in the world who have no idea that this is going on, like that this situation is going on. But it can be so complex, and it can be so deep, and all these different things, and involve all these different people and conversations and tweets, and it has like a massive history packed into the past 6 months, but there are billions of people who don't know about it. And I think that just kind of like messed with my brain for for a hot minute. But that's all I have to say on it. If anyone else has any comments or any other like questions about the situation, go ahead and submit them now, send them in, and we'll spend just a few more minutes if anyone has anything else to say. But other than that, there's one last thing I want to talk about that'll take like 2 minutes. Sinead said, like I said, you basically forgave Brooke Katz when she returned to YouTube and everyone was doing videos slamming her, and I was like, ... Yeah. I mean, what she did was bad, but I don't want it to like ruin her life, you know? What she did was bad. It was very, very wrong. And a lot of people like disagree with the way I view her. But I'm just like, I want people to learn and grow and get better. Like, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Darlene said, I think creators shouldn't dump on a commenter if they call them out on things because the obsessive fans become toxic. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard not to be upset if somebody's calling you out on something, but at the same time, like, you gotta set the example, I think, for your fans, because to an extent, like, people who follow you will follow the culture that you set for your channel. So if you have a culture of allowing people to disagree with you or speak out or say like, I think you're wrong on this, but I respect you and I'm gonna come at it from a respectful way, like, that's the culture that's gonna surround your channel. But if they watch you and you attack people and are very nasty and very mean and aggressive, they're gonna follow that too, and they're gonna engage in that behavior with other people and people who come against you as well. So all right, guys. Yeah, people are asking for a TLDR. We're done with the topic. I'm leaving the stream up though. It'll take 30-45 minutes to process, so you can go back and watch it if you want. But okay, you guys want to talk about Repsian? Yes. Sinead said I sent you a video on Twitter again. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, type your opinions and like what specifically you want to talk about with Repsian. Last thing I wanted to say, well, not last thing I wanted to say. I'm gonna keep talking. The second thing that I wanted to talk about in this stream is Mava is back, and I'm excited. I did a few videos when her whole drama went down with calling out the drama channels that she didn't like, and I disagreed with a few of the things that she said, but I think, like I said, you know, she's got some good points. I'm definitely gonna be like second guessing, just watching everything that they put out or believing everything they say. And she got a lot of hate for that, and a lot of bad stuff happened, a lot of drama, and she ended up deleting her channel, deleting her Twitter, all that stuff. But she came back. Like, she posted a video, and it was a very serious video. It wasn't like a lighthearted, fun, I'm back video, but she came back to YouTube. And if you can't find her channel, she said it's because she like doesn't know how to make it public again through Google. She's having a tough time, but she said that she's gonna put it back to public, and I think that's really cool. Like, I definitely don't agree with everything that she says, but she has a right to say how she feels, and I think it was really unfair that she kind of got bullied off of Twitter and YouTube. So I'm glad that she's back. Spencer said, at the end of the day, nobody lives in a vacuum, but if you're not even trying and then only defend themselves when they have to instead of taking responsibility, that's when action should be taken. Yeah. Orla said, I think Angelica Oles does a great job at being balanced and balanced at handling both sides of the situation as a commentary channel, in my opinion. Yeah, I like her videos. Oscar said, did you see the update on Huxley? I yelled, no. I saw that people are like, we don't know where, like, but not people, but the state of Ohio was like, they didn't give him to us, so people are like, where is he? I don't know. It's, ugh. Bye, Spencer. Have fun at work. I know this sounds bad, but the first thing I thought when I saw a news story being like, you know, influencer's child missing, I'm like, is this going to be a Lori Vallow situation? Because I'm not ready for it again. Okay. Chantel said, I'm related to T-Trigger, but I wanted to say I hope you're staying safe. I know stuff is crazy in the States right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying healthy, mentally, physically, doing what you gotta do for yourselves. Okay, so I said him making fun of Magdal's accent. I assumed that that's what people were upset about. Gosh, okay. So, long story short, Repsian, for those of you who don't know, Repsian has a fan that was kind of like overly interested in him, called him like Papa Rep, Daddy Rep, stuff like that, was really, you know, pushing boundaries of what was appropriate between a minor and an adult and a creator and a fan. And he has somehow, through people who used to be friends with either Repsian or his girlfriend, gotten a hold of photos of Repsian's girlfriend when she was underage, and they're inappropriate photos, and he has like posted them and threatened to do additional things with them, stuff like that. And so at first, when Repsian was talking about it, everyone was pretty much on his side, being like, man, this sucks, like, that's not cool. And I still stand by that. Like, this kid, like, where are his parents? I'm not concerned about where Will's parents are. I want to know where this kid's parents are, because they filed a police report the first time it happened. The kid said sorry, and now he's coming back and doing it again. But Repsian made a video because Drama and Opinions, the YouTube channel run by a woman named Magdal, said, like, basically that she thinks that Repsian's accusing this kid unjustly. And at the end of the day, I don't know what the truth is. I've seen more evidence to believe that Repsian is being accurate and giving this information. But he made a video showing the conversation between the two of them, and he mimicked her accent the entire time he was talking for her. Which, you can't do that. Like, and his excuse was like, I think accents are funny, so I did it to be funny. It wasn't hateful. And it's like, bro, you know that that's not going to be funny to people. You know that that's not okay. Like, this isn't even, like, dark humor. This isn't a stand-up comedy sketch. This is literally a video about your girlfriend's underage, inappropriate photos being shared by a minor. Like, this is a serious thing, so I don't understand why you're going to say, like, well, I thought it was funny to do an accent mimicking her. What? Brittany said, I just joined the live. Where's your headband from? So cute. Thank you. It's from Amazon. It came in a 4-pack. Thank you. I like it. Sinead said, I think Drama and Opinions is right. I've been watching her for a while now, and everything Repsian said was so dramatized, like that whole daddy thing. Liza said, BTWB, I cried watching your video on Huxley. My brother and 6-year-old are on the spectrum, so it's really tough, and I could really relate to your emotions towards it. Ugh. I'm sorry that you cried, but yeah, I cried too filming it, so I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. It's... I typically don't get too, like, emotionally invested in YouTube stories, but that one, it hit me hard. It hit me good. I was like, wow, this sucks. I don't know. I hope that Huxley is with a nice family who loves him and not just, like, dropped on an agency, like a private agency, you know? Oscar said, oh, that is not okay. Would that still be considered spreading CP since she is not a minor anymore? Yeah, because she was underage when the photos were taken. So, you know, it doesn't matter, like, what age she is. It matters what age she was when they were taken. Liza said, I can't believe he mocked her accent. That's disgusting. Yeah, like, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. Whether or not he thinks, like, making fun of accents is funny or not, like, regardless, this is a serious video talking about somebody directly targeting your girlfriend and giving out inappropriate photos of her and her medical ID number. Like, why are you making a joke of her accent at this time? Macy News said, but Colton said Papa Reps, not Daddy. Yeah. He said, because there's a video where the kid, like, kind of ambushed him at a movie theater and said, like, Papa Reps, what'd you think of the movie? But even that, like, I don't know, that weirds me out. Like, that's gross to me. If that wasn't a common nickname that I went by for my subscribers or for my fans, I'd be like, bro, what? Macy said, based on the evidence I saw, all the blame is pointing at Repsian and Maya. Yeah. I don't know. Chantel said, I understand his frustration and that he might be inclined to lash out, but not the best choice. Right. Like, you could be mad. Like, if his side is legit, like the true side, and this kid really is doing all of this against him, and you have someone making a video saying that you're lying, I get being mad, but it's kind of like the thing when somebody like goes against when you're fighting with somebody and like your first instinct is to go after their looks, you lose credibility. Like, you couldn't find a legitimate thing to criticize, so you went for the most obvious thing. Like, oh, Repsian, like, you live in America and her accent sounds odd to you, so that's the first thing you're gonna go for. That's lazy. Sinead said there's proof and he didn't leak her medical number. It was all crossed out except her date of birth. Interesting. Sinead said again, Rep and his girlfriend were and are adults, so I don't see the difference. She was 18 when the photos were taken. What he's saying is that she was underage, that she was not 18 when they were taken. So I'm not sure what the legitimacy is on that, but from what we've heard from him, she was not 18. Oscar said, even if she wasn't, spreading someone's pictures like that without their consent is not okay. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's a complicated thing because we don't know for sure, but allegedly these photos were from a private conversation that she was having with somebody that she was involved with. So if that's true, then leaking them and spreading them would be considered revenge porn. There's also a side of people that are saying, no, these were publicly available. She used to do cam shows, so everybody saw them anyway. Which, if these were publicly posted for anyone to see, and she was an adult, that's a different thing, but it just depends on what the actual truth is. Somebody said, Macy said, Colton was watching a movie with Repsian, and then Jane Doe said he didn't ambush him, they were friends. Is that, like, just a question, because this isn't what has been shown from what I've seen. How do you guys know that? Like, is that a common thing if you've, like, watched Repsian for a while, or, like, where is that information from? I'm just curious. Macy said, there's been people being doxxed because people are speaking out against Repsian and Maya. From what I heard, not sure if it's true. That came from Repsian's server. I hope that that's not true. Sinead said, no, 100% not okay to spread these photos without consent, but she did used to do the cam show. Yeah, I mean, and it's hard because, like, I don't know if there's a way to go back and check if these were posted publicly, you know, and, like, I'm not gonna dig for photos of her if it's potential that they were taken when she was underage, you know, and so if they were posted publicly, I still think it's weird to try and use them against her, but I don't know. Macy said Maya did try to bribe drama and opinions. Ooh, interesting. Chantel said if she didn't choose specifically for it to be public, then it's wrong. Yeah, like, bottom line, I mean, it's ultra wrong if she was underage, and if she wasn't and they were sent to somebody privately, that's not okay. Additionally, if it was from a camming gig and they were behind a paywall, or they were, you know, posted to a specific group of people, also not okay, because they weren't posted publicly. But if they were posted publicly, you know, it's hard for me to have, like, a strong opinion on it, because there's so many things that could be like, if this is true, if this is true, if this is the case. Yeah, Oscar said her doing cam shows in the past is not an excuse for someone to spread pictures of her without her consent. Yeah, essentially. Like, that's basically what it comes down to. Macy said it has been shown. That's interesting. So it's been shown on like Repsian's channel or in like different, like on a Discord server or something. I just don't know why he would say that they, I mean, because I know that they like were kind of close for a little bit, but then at one point he cut him off. So I don't know. People are bold though. If this is just a straight up lie that kid just did ambush him and they weren't there together, that's bold. Darlene said making fun of her accent is bullying, not funny. Exactly. Zoe B said being a sex worker or camera doesn't diminish your right to privacy and being treated with respect. Exactly. Macy said Maya did send Colton the exact birth date from a Planned Parenthood document of her abortion showing she was in fact over 18 when the nudes were posted. Oh my gosh. Huh. I don't know. I think I have a very different perspective of the situation because I haven't seen Drama and Opinions video. I don't watch every video that Repsian posts, but I watch a decent amount. So I only have essentially what he's said, but this is definitely interesting. I'll have to do a little bit more digging into it. Sinead said, give the video I sent you a watch, but she did the video because Colton wasn't being heard in the situation, I believe. Alright. That'll be an interesting thing to check into. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that if these pictures were posted privately or sent one-on-one and now they're being shared, it's not okay, even if it was for a cam. If it was behind a paywall or behind like a membership, that's for a specific group of people. But if it was posted publicly for anyone to access, it's, I don't know, I feel like it's still not cool to send that around if she's at a point where she's like, I don't like that those are being spread. Like, I don't do camming anymore, and so I'm uncomfortable with it. I just think it's a bad move, like, on morally, to still take those pictures and send them around when this person doesn't do camming anymore if they were posted publicly. You know what I mean? Nancy said you have to look at both sides of the story before making a conclusion. Yeah. All right. With all that, I think that's all we can say because I don't have a hard opinion on the situation. Like Macy said, have to have both sides. So I only have what I know from Repsian. So if you want, we can talk about this on a different live after I look a little bit further into it, and then we can have a different conversation about it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So thank you guys so much for hanging out and man, sticking it through this live. I know that there was a ton of information in there, and so I'm sorry if I sent you into information overdrive. It's very, very complicated, and so I did my best to keep it as simple as possible. But all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Just a reminder, if you are in my membership group, I'm gonna be posting a community tab today in our exclusive group to let you suggest what you want to talk about on the live stream next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. So go ahead and make sure you put your opinion on that. But all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this live stream. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.